Good morning. Good Tavach, a new week, and a new Torah portion. We are starting Parshas Korach. Well, we had rebellion last week. The rebellion continues. We are Bamidbar, Numbers chapter 16, verse number 1. Vayikach Korach, and Korach took Ben Yitzhar, Korach, the son of Yitzhar, Ben Kahos, the son of Kahos, Ben Levi, the son of Levi. Dasan Aviram. Who did he take? He took Dasan and Aviram, Bnei Eliav, who are the sons of Eliav, Va'oin, and also Oin, Ben Peles, the son of Peles, Bnei Ruvain, who is the children of descendants of Ruvain. Rashi. Lengthy Rashi over here. V'yikach Korach. What does it mean he took? He took. It's an unusual term to say, right? Like he took these people. Means Parsha. So he says Parsha Zu. Yafa Nidreshes is well expounded. The Midrash Rebbe Tanchuma in the Midrash Tanchuma. There's a lot here that needs to be understood. So he said, "V'yikach Korach." He separate, meaning he took, meaning he separated himself. He took himself to one side. To separate himself from the rest of the congregation of Israel. To raise objections concerning the kahuna being a kohen, the priesthood. And this is the way Unkelis explains it. That he separated himself, as if to say nechlak mishar ha'eda, meaning he separates himself from the rest of the assembly. Last week, all of the Jewish people were influenced by the spies, right? Now we're saying, no. This is Korach. It's not all the Jewish people now. He separated himself from the rest of the Jewish people. To sustain in a dispute.
Firstborn?
Is he firstborn?
Yeah.
He was a Levi.
Oh, okay.
He was a Levite. So now just showing that we have a similar, the word yikach means to take, right? It means to take. So it's not the usual term. So he's just showing that we see that that it means here to separate yourself from others, is that it's used in that context elsewhere. Why does your heart take you? In order to take you to separate yourself from other people. So that's the first explanation. Alternative explanation is V'yikach Korach means that he took, meaning the courts who were among them to himself with words, meaning he persuaded them to support him. That's what it means. He was a persuasive guy, and he was able to persuade some of the courts, the heads of the courts, right, that they should side with him. Second explanation. As it says, take him with words. Right? We see this term, it's used for Moshe. It says to take Aaron with words. In other words, to inspire him in the duties that he needs to fulfill. So we see a similar idea that's used previously. Okay. Continuing with Rashi, Ben Yitzhar, Ben Kahaz, Ben Levi. So it delineates over here, like he's the son of Yitzhar, the son of Kahaz. That's his grandfather, and great grandfather is the son of Levi. Right? Why does it go so far? And if it goes so far, why doesn't it say the son of Yaakov? His great grandfather was Jacob. It says for Loyis been in Yaakov. It doesn't mention that he is the Korach's lineage. Doesn't say that he's the son of Yaakov. Why? Because Yaakov sought mercy. He prayed over his name, over his legacy. that his name should not be mentioned on Malchalikalstam regard to their dispute. Shenemar, they call Al Techad Kvedi, but the congregation do not join it. My honor. In Genesis, at the end, when Yaakov passed away, when he gives the blessing to his children, so he says to Levi, his right, who is his great grandfather, Korach's great grandfather, right, because he's a Levite. So when Yaakov passed away, so to the 12 sons, Levi being one of them, he said, "Let not my name be joined in this dispute." And where is Jacob's name mentioned with reference to Korah? And the lineage of Korah's descendants giving regarding to the platform. In Chronicles. Shenamar, there it says, Ben Aviyasav, son of Aviyasav, Ben Korach, Ben Yitzhar, Ben Kohaz, Ben Levi, Ben Israel. So in other words, in Chronicles, it does bring the lineage to him. But he says in the here it should not be brought to him. It does. So he took, in other words, he separated himself with Dasan Aviram, and so Rashi said, Dasan Aviram, they were from the tribe of Reuven. And because the tribe of Reuven was on the south when they encamped, right? Where were the Levites? They were in the middle, right? They were in the middle of the Levites, protecting the inner camp, which is the camp of Shekhinah, of the divine presence, where the sanctuary is.
But everybody would be next to the Levites. In that case, there was a circle, and everyone would be touching them, relatively speaking.
Yeah, that's true. So it seems like they were close to where Korach was. They neighbored Kahas and his sons. Yeah. Achenim Teimana, that were camped on the south. Nishatvu im Korach. They joined with Korach b'machlach also Oile Rasha Oile Shechina. So we see wicked woe is to the wicked one and woe to his neighbor. Others they were. Remember, there's Kahas, Gershon, and Merari of the Levites, right? So where Kahas was to the south side, right? And he was part of Kahas. So therefore, that was close to Ruvain, right? Because remember, they're encircling it, so one has to be one is going to be closer to another, right? So Ruvain was closest because they were on the south side. Kahas is on the south side of the Levite circle. Okay. So in other words, Dasan and Aviram, they were not Levites, and they were not firstborn. So they had no reason to get involved in this. What do we see from here? Is that when you live next to a wicked person like Korach, who can influence you, that's what he did. He influenced them, right? Remember, the second explanation was that he took with words. In other words, he was able to influence those around him.
History repeats itself.
Yeah, exactly. Mara, Korach. So now Rashi goes, what's going on over here? What was Korach? Moshe. Is he going to dispute against Moshe? How's someone come to dispute against Moshe? Right? What's going on over here? So he says, Niskan al Nisiyasa Shalitzofim ben Uziel. He was jealous over the the position that Elitzaphan, the son of Uziel, Shemina Moshe Nasi, that Moshe appointed him as a prince, a leader of Bnei Kahas over the sons of Kahas. Remember, he is a descendant of Kahas, so he is doing the work of the Levites with the Kahati group, right? But he wasn't chosen as the leader over that house of Levites, and he was jealous because of that, because Moshe had appointed Elitzaphan, the son of Uziel. Now, of course, he did it al pi hadibur. He did it because of the word of God. In other words, Moshe did it because God told him to. But that didn't mean that Korach wasn't jealous, right? Amar Korach said to himself, Achi Abba Arba Hayo. So now he's making an argument over here, Korach, in his mind at least, right? Says, fathers, brothers, including father, were four. His father, right? Yitzhar, right? So there were four brothers. Shenamar says, Bnei Kahas, the sons of Kahas were Amram, Yitzhar, Chevron, Uziel. So Amram HaBechor. Amram is the firstborn, right? Who's Amram? He's the father of Moshe and Aaron, right? Notlu Shnei Banav Gedula. So the two sons, they assume greatness. Echad Melech, one is the king, Moshe is the king. The Echad Kohen Gadol, and one is the high priest, that's Aaron. Okay, but that's, so with that he's okay. Because, right, remember everything here is in lineage is, who's firstborn. So Amram is the firstborn, is the firstborn to Kahas. So that makes sense that the two brothers, they're going to get great positions. But who's then next ready to take greatness from Kahas? Loyani, shouldn't it be me? Shani ben Yitzhar? I'm the son of Yitzhar. Shusheni Lamra. Yitzhar was the second oldest. So he should get then the appointment because he's the son of Yitzhar. But yet, who did he appoint as a prince, the head over the Kohatis? Has been Achi Bakat Mekulam. The fourth brother, who's the youngest? His son. Right? So that he got jealous of that. So I'm going to dispute with him. I'm going to nullify his words. Awesome. What did he do? So, and this is an important thing, right? He didn't challenge him on the actual position. What did he challenge him on? I know this, when you're jealous of something, so you're not going to trying to find something that you could nullify their, something about them, about their position, and about their position. So what did he do? Almad v'kanas. He rose up and he gathered together Masayim Chamishim Roshi Sanhedrin, 250 heads of courts. In other words, he brought a bunch of leaders, right, who were the heads of different courts. Rubam Mesheva Ruvain Shchenav, and most of them were from the tribe of Ruvain, his neighbors. Elitzur ben Shedeur v'Chaverav. That was Elitzur, the son of Shedeur, and his colleagues, the Kiyetzebay. Right? And the princes of the assembly were summoned for the meeting. And above it, it says, the ones who were summoned for the assembly. And what did he do? Korach clothed them with cloaks, and all of them were made from tcheles, from this blue dye, right? That is what you use for tzitzis. A special blue dye comes from a special kind of fish. That makes it, right? And they all came and stood before Moshe. And they said the following. If you're wearing a cloak that is entirely tcheles, is blue color, is it obligated with tzitzis? In other words, here, let me give an example. They wore this, and it was all blue. This was all blue, not white like mine with a black stripe. So they asked the strings, which we don't know what tchelis is today, so that's why there isn't the blue color. Back then they knew, but they would have one string that was blue. Okay, that right. So if my whole garment is blue, do I need then to wear one string of blue? That was the question, right? That was the question. Is it obligated with the tzitzis to put on, or is it exempt from the entire strings, right? Because it only has one string that's blue. So Amar Lehem, so he responded, Moshe. Remember, the 250 people there, they're sitting there with all these garments, and they're asking this question, right? So he would say, he responded, Chayev, you're obligated to wear the strings, even though the whole garment is blue. His chila, this kalav, they began to laugh at him. Efshar, is it possible? Talis min echar, that a cloak that is a different type of cloth, hud echad shel tchelis petura, that one thread of tchelis exempts it. Zu shekula tchelis, that this is entirely the blue tchelis. Loy tipater, is atzma should not exempt itself. Very deep idea over here that we're not going to get into right now. But he's saying if this is all blue, then what do you need a little string over here that's blue? Obviously, this should be more than sufficient to exempt you from the blue that would be needed on one string over here, and therefore you don't need it. That's what they laughed at him, right? Yeah, exactly. Okay. Now, what does that mean? It's a very deep idea that we're not going to go into now that the Rebbe explains, and the Midrashim explain different things. Oops. Okay. Bnei Ruvain, that the sons of Ruvain, Dasan Aviram, Oin ben Pelez, Dasan Aviram, and Oin ben Pelez are descendants of Ruvain. Okay. So, Machlaikas, Yakumu lifnei Moshe, and they got up before Moshe, they confronted him, Vanashim bnei Israel, Chamishim Masayim, and together with men of 250 men, Isieda, who are leaders of the congregation, Kriya Mayed, that are represented of the assembly, Anshe Shem, men of repute. Kahalu al Moshe, and they assembled before Moshe, al Aaron and Aaron, and they said, Aleim to them, Rav Lachem, too much for you. You've taken too much upon yourself. Because the entire congregation, the entire Jewish people, Kulam Kadeshim, we're all holy. Hashem, and God is amongst us. Hashem, why do you raise yourself over the congregation of the Jewish people? In other words, are you making yourself so great? Rashi in 3, Rav Lachem, it's too much for you. You've taken too much prominence for yourself, too much greatness for yourself. In other words, you're the king, right? Moshe is the king. He's got the law of a king. And Aaron is the high priest. That's a lot of power you took for yourself, right? Kulam Kadeshim, we're all holy. Kulam Shemainu Devarim. We all heard the words Sinai from Mount Sinai, Mipiag Bura, from the mouth of God himself. We all heard from God. So what makes you greater than us? Why do you exalt yourself? If you took yourself for royalty, for kingship, you shouldn't have given to your brother the being the head priest. There's not only you two that heard at Sinai, that you heard that I'm the Lord your God. The entire congregation heard. We all heard God speaking. You're not privileged. Oh, that's real. That's that's a war, right? That's real war. Yishma Moshe heard this. People upon him, and he fell on his face. What I mean, Rashi. People upon him, he fell on his face. Because of the dispute. Because this is all the fourth foulness that the Jews committed. They sinned by the golden calf, right? And there it says, Moshe, and Moshe pleaded for them. But Misainim, they sinned by, in Parshas Ba Loischa, and that they found a pretext to try to get the yoke of heaven off, right, off them. These follow Moshe, and there Moshe also prayed for them there. But Meraglim, and then last week's Torah portion, they sinned by the spies. And Moshe there prayed for them also, right? In the dispute of Korach, Moshe's hands became weakened. In other words, he had no longer the strength to plead on behalf of the Jews. Mashal, Sarashi says, Mashal, this is a metaphor. It can be compared, Leben Melech, to the son of a king, Shesarach Halaviv, that he acted disgracefully towards his father. So the friend a friend placated the father on his behalf. Pam shtayim sholosh, 1, 2, 3 times. When the son acted improperly the fourth time, then the friend who was always there on behalf of the son, he became weak. Moshe, right? Father is God, and the child is the Jewish people. Amar, he said, how long can I bother the king with all the nonsense that you're doing? Maybe he's not going to be placated from me anymore. How often can I go and plead on behalf of the Jewish people? Oy. And he spoke to Korach. Moshe spoke to Korach El Kol Adosai, and to his entire company, his entire congregation, all the people that were accompanied him. Lamor saying, Boiker, morning, the Yoida Hashem, and Hashem will make known, Es Asher Loi, that which is his, there's a Kodesh, and that which is holy. The Hikriv Elav, God will bring him close to him. Es Asher Yivchar Boi, and that which he chooses, that God chooses, Yikrav Elav, he will draw him near to him. Others, okay, let's see who God chooses. You say that took too much. You say that it's not belonging to us. And okay, let God decide. Right? Let God decide. This is what he's saying to him, yeah? Rashi 5. In the morning, Hashem will make it known. Adam is now is not a time of intoxication for us. It's improper to appear before God right now. Moshe intended to delay him. Maybe they would do tshuva, right? And they would turn back. In the morning, Hashem will make known that which is his, Avedis Leviah, for the Levite service. As a Kodesh, the Kohuna, that which is holy to the Kohuna for the priesthood. In other words, for the Levites, right? The appointment is correct, and for the priesthood. And God will bring close to him. Targum Meichiach Kain. Onklis indicates that the Karev Kadmoihi, that he explains it to bring him close before him. Yikrav Lisham Shushe, Lishim Mushe, meaning he'll bring him close to his service. What does it mean to bring close to God? Meaning that which will be in service of God. Or midrash, the allegorical midrashic explanation. Boiker in the morning is a metaphor. Amar lehem Moshe, Moshe said to them, God divided and made boundaries in his world. Can you turn morning into evening? So that you will be able to nullify the priesthood. God said that there is even and there is not. And God divided. Likewise, he divided and separated Aaron apart from others, that he should be sanctified to be the high priest. Now, just as God made a division between day and night, God made that division. Well, he's the same God who made the division that Aaron is the high priest and set him aside for that. So this is what we got to do then tomorrow. He's telling you, if you want to battle this out, take for yourselves, take for yourselves, machtes, translates here as censers. It means it was a pan with fire on it. Korach and all of his company. Rashi, take for yourself fire pants. Why did he say to do this? Why did Moshe tell him? Amar lehem, he said to them, the ways of the nations is, they have many rights. And many clergymen. And they do not all gather together in one house of worship. We only have one God. So we only have one God. Therefore, we gather only in one place of worship. And only one Torah. One ark, one Torah, and one altar. The Kohen Gadol, and also only one Kohen Gadol. Well, one God we said, yeah. What is it? You're 250 of you, and each one of you wants to be the high priest. You're all right, complaining to be, you were nudged out of a position. And so Moshe said, I also want this. Hey, lachem. So here you have Tashmish Chaviv Mikol, the service of Ziris of all, Hakateris, which is the incense. Chaviva Mikol Karbonas. It's more dear than even all of the offerings. That there's a deadly drug that's put into this, into the incense. Then that's how they died. They got burnt up because of this deadly drug. That's why they were warned that only that person that God chooses can bring this offering. Hu HaKadosh, he's the Holy One, which means means he's already in a state of holiness because that's why he chose him. He ain't anu yodim. Now we do not know shemishi yivchar, the one whom he shall choose, that God should choose, who Kadosh, who is holy. Allah Amar le'em Moshe. 1 second. Ella Amar Lahem Moshe, but Moshe says to them, Hareini Ayim Elochem, I'm saying to you, Shaloi Tischaivu, that you should not become liable for punishment, Mi'ivchar boy, that whom Hashem will choose, Yetzechai will emerge alive. The Kulam Avdim, and the rest of you will be lost and die. Machzeh is a fire pan. Kelim Shechaisim, this is a pan which they rake off coals. Yeshlam Beis Yad, and it has a handle to it. So they're going to take a pan that has coals. They're going to put the incense on it, which includes which is deathly. It can bring death, and we'll see through this who God chooses. Right? Who's God going to choose? All right. 7. Snu by him, Aish, and placing it in a fire. The Simalim Keteris, and place upon it incense. Lifnei Hashem, before Hashem Macher, tomorrow, Vahaya, and it will be Ha'ish Asher Yivchar Hashem, that it will be the man that God chooses. Hu HaKadosh, he's the one that's holy. We mentioned this already. V'rav Lachem b'nei Levi, taking upon yourself too much, the sons of Levi. All right, this is Moshe speaking to them. Rashi says, and Levi, you've taken too much upon yourself, Levi. Lachem. I've told you a great serious matter, and you're not fool. Were they not fools? That Moshe warned them in this manner, and they still undertook to offer the incense. What's going on over here? This is Moshe Rabbeinu. Before people complained to God, to Moshe, right? They complained, but they never, they complained, but they never battled him. They complained to him, right? I mean, maybe about things that he was doing, right? But here, this is a battle against Moshe, right? So Moshe is saying, hey, this is a great serious matter. Why are you acting like fools? Right? Seems that, and we're talking about they were great people. How's it possible? What's going on over here? So Rashi says, and they took to offer the incense because they sinned against their souls. Yeah, they sinned against their souls. Korach was a smart guy. Tomorrow, what did he see? To this folly. Korach wasn't a stupid guy. And the people with him, they were not stupid. So what did he see over here? Eina hitata, his eye led him to error. He saw a great change of descendants that would emerge from him. Shmuel, the prophet Samuel comes from him. Shashak king Moshe Aaron, who's as important as Moshe and Aaron. Amar, so he said, I'm this b'nei Ivana. He saw that should be Shvila Nimla, that I will escape because of him. Esrim Barba Mishmareis, I'm the Zibnei Banav. And he also saw in the future that 24 watches from among the descendants, Kulam, Niznabu, Baruch HaKodesh, all of them prophesying in divine prophecy. Shenemar.
Access for him.
All of them prophesying with divine inspiration. Shenemar, Kolei Lebanim Leheman. That all of them are Heman, the Amar, so Korach said, Efshar, is it possible? Kol Agdula Hazois, all of this greatness is going to come, that will be destined to come from me, and I'm going to remain silent. Kach Nishativ, there's so very joined. The other part is Loba Ba'isei Chazaka, in order to come to attain that status of priesthood. Sheshama Mipi Moshe. That, in other words, he saw that this is going to come. In order that's going to come to Sheshama Moshe, that he heard from Moshe, Shekulam Ma'ivdim, that all of them are going to die. And one will escape destruction. Hashem hu HaKadosh, meaning that which Hashem chose will be holy. He erred, but told about when he thought it was himself. And he didn't see well. Because in the end, what happened was his sons did tshuva, not him, and his sons who were originally part of the rebellion, they did tshuva, and so the prophetic vision that he saw was correct. He would have greatness coming from him, but it would be he'd die, and it would come from his children. So that's why he thought, oh, he's going to be saved. Well, it was his children, his sons were saved. Moshe saw this correctly, and that's what the Tanchuma says. Rav lachem, too much for you. Davar gola nintaltem be'atzmechem, you've taken upon yourself a serious matter. That you're actually arguing against God. You're not arguing against me. You're arguing against God. Okay, let's go quickly. So Moshe said to Korach, listen to me, my sons Levi. Please listen. Rashi, it 8. Listen, said to Korach, listen, sons of Levi, please. Moshe spoke to him, in a gentle language, because he saw that he was being obstinate. Before the rest of the tribe will join Korach, and they'll all be destroyed with him. I'll speak to all of them. He began to exhort them. Listen now, sons of Levi. Is it not enough from you, that he separated the God of Israel, that he separated you, Israel, from the rest of the congregation of Israel, to bring him close to you, Mishkan, that you serve in the service of the sanctuary, Hashem, of God's sanctuary, and to serve before the congregation, to minister them, Hashem, that you sing on the platform, right? The Levites, they carried, right, the implements, and they also sang on the platform. So is that not enough that God gave you that? And he drew you close, God, right? And your brother, all of your brothers, Levi, the sons of the Levites of Levi, together with you, and you also want to be a kohen. Be happy the God gave you something special. He brought you close, which he distanced the rest of the Jewish people. Others, you got something and everybody else didn't get it. Therefore, you, and all of your company, that are coming against God, the Aren, Mahu Salinu Allah. What are you coming to complain against him? Lachin, Rashi, in 11. Therefore, Bishvil Kach, because of this, because it is God who chose you to perform the service of the Levites and not that of the Kohanim, You and your entire company are joining together, eat together with you. Al Hashem are going against God. Because I've acted as God's shliach, as God's messenger. Let's say it's kahuna Laren, to give Aaron the priesthood. This is not a dispute of ours. You're not disputing against me, against us. It's against God. And Moshe is sent to bring to call to Dasan Aviram b'nei Eliyav, the sons of Eliyav. And they said we won't go up. Rashi in 12. Yishlach Moshe, and Moshe sent forth Mikan. From here we see because we do not keep in a dispute. Because Moshe went after them. He sought them out. La Shlima, to create harmony and peace with them. B'divrei shalom, words of peace. But they said, no, we're not going. Their mouths let them stumble by saying, Shein lahem el yerida. Loinala means we're not going to go up, means going down. Well, that's what's going to happen to them. They're going to have their downfall. Hama'at. Is it not enough? Is it not enough that you brought us out of the land of flowing of milk and honey, to kill us in the desert? And you also want to exercise authority over us? It's not bad enough that we're going to die here in the desert. Now you want to also be, rule over us? No, we're not going up. We're not going up. All right. Well, it's in the desert. Okay.